Normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
From SCNR.com, who's that? Bill Maher reveals to Roseanne Barr he's never heard of MK Ultra or the World Economic Forum. This is such an amazing example of the ignorance that persists among liberals. And let me play for you this video. Roseanne educating Bill Maher in a hilarious way.
No wonder I don't remember this.
No shit, you blocked it out, MK Ultra.
Who's that?
That's the mind control program you're under, Bill.
MK Ultra?
Yeah.
Doesn't even remember.
So who's Klaus Schwab?
The head of the WEF.
What's that?
Google it.
Yo, this is why I'm going to be completely honest. Bill Maher won't come on this show. And I think there's a reason why liberals and leftists avoid this show, because look, Roseanne, I mean, she knows what MK Ultra is. She knows what the World Economic Forum is. In this video, she didn't even say much about it, but Bill Maher has no idea. These people, they live on the tip of the iceberg, up top above the surface level, and we're all scuba diving. So we see all the dirt, the grime, and the horrors of the deep state. And people like Bill Maher standing up top looking around like, it's just water. Y'all are crazy and nothing but water. And we're like, down there's skulls and other really awful, disgusting things. Roseanne gets to hang out with Bill Maher, but this is it. This is a good example of where liberals are at. They have no idea what's going on. They don't pay attention. They don't care.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think what I like right now is like Roseanne Barr is one of these celebrities that's sort of toeing the line between several things. It was like Theo Von had Tucker Carlson on his show, and I love it because he's just a comedian. He's making an observation. He has mass appeal. On the other hand, Tucker's completely political and everything is, and they have this interesting conversation. Roseanne Barr confronting Bill over here, who's like hearing the words MK Ultra and glitching. He has no idea what's going on, is extremely funny for, I don't know, an endless number of reasons, but also because it's sort of showing that more moderate people are aware of these things. And I think that is not what liberal entertainment expected.
I'm having a hard time believing he didn't know what MK Ultra was. Like, is Bill a master troll? Like, does he pretend, is he great at feigning ignorance?
No, the famous clip, of course, is when Dennis Prager was on and mentioned tampons in the men's room. And Bill was like, no, that's for their girlfriends. Come on. And Dennis was desperately trying to inform these liberals of actual things that were happening. And they all just laughed like a bunch of cackling morons.
I wonder if Bill adopted cynicism because his show got shut down after 9/11 because he spoke out so harshly against it, against like the response to war. I don't know exactly what he said. He said something about
so you're saying he's
not hating the terrorists, like thinking everybody's, yeah. And now he's like, uh-oh, if I speak out of line again, they're going to cancel me again. So I've got to always be like, oh, really? I didn't know.
I mean,
that's the first I've heard of that.
This is his show, though. This is his podcast.
Do you think afterwards he fell down like the craziest Google rabbit hole of like looking all of this stuff up? He hasn't left his office for 3 days. He's totally like calling Roseanne Barr to be like, thank you for telling me about this. Or do you think he just like ignored it?
He ignored it completely.
I don't think they want to know. They just write us off as conspiracy theorists and they never look into it.
It's interesting. But also, wouldn't you wonder, like, this is what I find interesting. If you're curious about things, you would look it up. But is it actually just trying to put your head in the sand and pretend none of this is happening?
Well, just as an aside, for whatever reason, a few minutes ago, a house exploded in Arlington, and there's video of it. So I don't think...
Anyone's house specifically?
No, it was a house exploded in Arlington. So it's like big breaking news. The police were issuing a search warrant, and this house exploded. But people are chatting it, but we don't have any details on why. So don't know what else to tell you about that. But anyway, back to the point.
That can happen from like gas leaks, right?
No, this was a search warrant being served to a house that was barricaded. The house that exploded.
Oh no.
Yeah. So anyway,
so
Bill Maher is she called him MK Ultra. That's what basically Bill Maher is, the propaganda grift machine for the above surface level narrative machine.
He is the mockingbird.
Yeah.
But then he like laughed and then was like, what is that? Like, it's so weird. Is he even participating in this conversation?
Yeah, they talk about the Bank for International Settlements and he's like, what's that? And she's like, it's the Swiss bank. It's the bank, the mother bank of all central banks, the central bank of central banks. And he's like, yeah, but they're not running the show.
I think it's
Swiss
funny.
Banks.
I think it's funny that, like, Ian's bringing up Smedley Butler in the business plot, and I'm like, I don't think that is relevant to what we're actually like. If it was Bill Maher, he'd be like, huh? Imagine wanting to start a podcast and being like, I've done no research, I know nothing of politics, but I'm here to debate you. Okay, if people listen to that. How many subscribers does he have on his show? What is it called? What's his show called?
That one.
MK Ultracast?
Isn't it like the Bill Maher show?
No. That one's like
I don't even know the name of it.
critically incorrect. No, I don't know what the hell he calls it. After Dark. I don't know. So that's Dr. Drew's show.
Club Random.
There it is. Club Random.
All right. Well, let's take a look here at we got Club Random podcast, and we'll pull up that.
Hi, I'm Bill Maher.
He's got 500,000 subscribers and 840 videos.
There it is.
And let's take a look at his videos. He's got one with Jordan Peterson, 4.1 million. That's more for Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
RFK. I mean, that's the reality of this. It's his videos are mostly about the guests. Him sitting down with Kid Rock. Probably interesting because what's happening is, actually, I take it back. It's an excellent show. It's an excellent show. It is. Dumb guy who doesn't read is educated by everyone else.
Basically, kind of like Rogan.
It does kind of
Joe
work.
might
But Rogan has a good idea a lot about what he's talking about.
And he calls
pushes-
himself dumb, just so.
But,
Well, and
but he
he's
calls
deeply
people out.
curious. Like Rogan asks a lot of really interesting questions because his mind is going, whereas Bill Maher is sort of like, haha, I think I'm supposed to laugh here. I haven't watched the show really, so I shouldn't be that critical. But there's sort of a difference. I think if you were to sit down with someone and say, I know absolutely nothing about this, please tell me as much as you can in the next hour, that could be an interesting format. I think because he's sort of a built personality, it comes across differently. You sort of expect him to know more.
I guess that's actually, I'm probably biased. I mean, I don't think I know everything. There's a lot I don't, and we bring people on, and Culture War especially is that. But Bill Maher is remarkably ignorant. I mean, if you're gonna invite someone on your show to discuss the merits of some political cause, and then with, like in Dennis Prager's case, laugh at him, it's like, no, listen. Dennis Prager comes on your show and says they're putting tampons in the men's room. The response, I think, which would be reasonable, is, really? They're really doing that? I haven't seen that. Now, let me look that up.
Yeah, ignorance.
Bill Maher's like, no, you're crazy, and now we're all going to laugh at you.
Ignorance is acceptable, and if you have a smart mind and you can learn, it's actually invigorating to watch someone that's ignorant learn the information and no longer be ignorant. But ignorance muddled with cynicism is just disgusting.
We've invited Bill on this show, and I can recognize why he can't do it. He does his own show, and he lives on the other side of the country. He came out to D.C. for stand-up, so we again invited him on the show, and the response was he's not sticking around in D.C., but, have a nice day. I said, okay, no problem, I get it. So then we said, what if we go to L.A. or wherever, we go out to California, and we will set up for the week and have Bill on either in the morning or at night, his choice, and they said, we're not interested at this time. Bill Maher, I think, would end up just sitting there being like, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? I don't know what that means. Then Bill would make some argument, and I'd say, actually, here, let me Google it for you, show him an article, and he'll go, oh, I didn't know that. The whole show would be him saying, I didn't know that. Imagine going to Bill Maher and talking about all the things the Bidens have done. He'd be like, really?
No, they didn't.
I mean, if Bill Maher actually listened to anyone in this room, or, you know what, it'd be really great. Anyone in the audience right now, I could take a random person and sit them down with Bill Maher, and they probably know more than Bill Maher does.
Kingsley, you have to call Bill Maher and help him out. He needs your support.
Well, I have to tell you, his viewership is even worse. So I went to be in the audience of his show when Steve Bannon was on and was just chit-chatting with some of the folks who are, huge Bill Maher fans. I mean, these are the most dysgenic, uninformed people you will ever see in your entire life.
So what do they do? Like, where are these people? What, are they working in offices? How do they support themselves? How are they not aware of some of this stuff? You're not going to know everything about everything, but to be that level of uninformed seems almost impossible to me.
All right. I nominate Marshall Mushi in chat to debate Bill Maher, because I'm confident that, additionally, Hype Beast Deleuze would also be able to run circles around Bill Maher.
I think he's a comedian, and his fans are comedy fans. They're not politically initiated.
No,
it's
no.
a very small percentage of the world that understands anything about politics.
You're half right.
1%.
Bill Maher is a political commentator. His show, he has the new rules section where he literally talks of culture and politics. He brings on journalists and writers, and this is and they talk about politics and culture. And This is why we had Bannon came on once and told me that I needed to go on his show, and he was like, let me reach out to them. I was like, I don't want to go on that guy's show. I just I'll go on someone else's show and I'll be respectful to them, but especially with the panel, they're all going to be talking garbage and just word diarrhea coming out on the desk. And it's going to be like, I saw what happened to Dennis Prager. He was the smartest guy in the room. He ran circles around him and they all laughed at him. Bro, if I wanted to go into a room and say things to make people laugh, I can easily just go do like a balloon animal routine at a fairground and get a bunch of people to clap and cheer for balloon animals if that's what you're looking for. If you want to have a serious conversation, it ain't going to be with people like Bill Maher.
Yeah, I wonder, going into a venue where people don't understand what you're talking about and telling the truth and then looking like an idiot, like, it's exhausting. It can be very exhausting. So I understand not wanting to go into that room of that raucous crowd and try and
he has home field advantage when you're in your own
Oh,
show,
yeah.
right? I mean, everyone who does the show is going to say thank you, and for the most part, I assume, and his producers are going to be like, you did a great job. Good question.
And then if the host does like a side eye, then the whole audience is going to do a side eye because they're all cult worshipers. And then it's like, oh, God, I got to deal with the cult now.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.